Hello guys, welcome back to another training video. In this one we're going to be doing some in-depth stock analysis on JPM Chase. The reason for doing this is, well, it's a video for Saturday, so we get the daily stock analysis video out, and they've also just launched their UK retail bank, or digital retail bank. So my card's just arrived today from them, so I thought we could kind of go through the benefits of their card, if it will break through in the UK, and then how maybe this will affect the stock in the near future and also long term. So firstly, kind of get it in a package like this. So this is also kind of different to how it arrives in the US, so it's kind of nice that they're not using the exact same thing, and yeah, basically just comes in like this. What you'll be able to see as well is that the card's actually different to the US one. It's a lot plainer, doesn't have all the writing on it, and you'll also see if I flip it around, also doesn't have the writing there. So that's one of the features this card has, is that it is basically number 3, so means if you lose it, probably won't get anyone stealing your money, unless they're literally using the contactless feature, but I think that's limited at £40 a transaction, and also you would get reimbursed obviously if it was lost, so not the end of the world. Key benefit to that card is that 1% cash back on the debit card on all transactions, and also a feature rolling out soon is that you get a roundup feature. So basically means, let's say I go into a shop, spend £21.50, it will put the other 50p in a kind of a separate account, start saving that, and they said they will give you a 5% interest rate. So that's quite good, especially for an account with 0 fees and charges, which is actually also a bit different to the US one, as I know if you don't have if you're not issued an account or you don't meet a minimum balance, you usually have to pay a monthly fee. I think it's only like $5 or $10, but in the UK you don't have any of that. Not really exclusive to them, you just don't have that here. So the only other thing I wanted to go over is how this may be improved in the future and may bring more clients over, because right now the 1% cashback is nice, especially on a debit card, but may not push kind of people to come over here, especially if they haven't heard of the name Chase, which isn't unlikely for UK clients, because most of them would have heard as JP Morgan or JP Morgan Chase as the investment bank, but here we didn't have Chase as a retail bank like it is heavily in the US. So when that comes over here, obviously not as many people are going to be drawn to it because they may not even know what it is. So that's one thing. It is kind of a problem over here, is not many people know what it is. So as it raises more awareness, may get more users, and will have probably a better long-term effect on it. Also, one thing I want to know is, or will probably draw clients over if they can start doing it, is if you use Chase now personally, you know, on the debit card there isn't really any features or anything, or discounts by that I mean, but if you use a credit card, so I'll quickly show you on the app now, you kind of get, I don't really want to show that part, so you kind of get like these, so you probably know you get these, and they may be like 10-15% or 20% discount. So like right now you get 10% cash back on DoorDash, and things like that, and Rite Aid 5% back. So if they started doing that over here, especially on the debit card, that would probably bring a lot of clients over if they start doing it on, well, we don't have DoorDash here, but say Uber Eats or Just Eat, things like that. If they could do those same kind of offers even on the debit, or if they bring a credit card over here, that will most likely bring a lot of clients over, because it's not something you really get over here. Credit cards and debit cards don't tend to have good features like in the US. Also, one thing last to note, I guess, is the design is different to the US one. So obviously the US one has a bit more stuff on it, and below this I won't move it because obviously card details are there, but you also have all your card details on the front. Obviously the UK one is a lot cleaner, which I think is quite a nice feature, makes it stand out a bit more, if you care for that kind of thing. So now we'll go over to the stock and start doing some analysis. So now we're on JP Morgan charts. We can start, firstly look, as we always do, is there any gaps? And yes, we can see actually there is quite a lot of gaps, which isn't a great thing, because as you know, the majority of gaps get filled. So when stocks have gaps that need to be filled to the downside, does kind of indicate that they'll most likely pull back to this. However, as these ones, like this one is at $100, that is quite a large pullback Chase would need to do. So that is one thing, because it may mean it's not going to probably fill anytime soon. It'll probably be more when a market correction comes, and the market pulls back maybe 20, 30, even 40% is probably when these kind of gaps would get filled. So that's one thing to be keeping an eye on. But however, you do have smaller gaps, which are a bit closer to the current price, so like this 124, 127, could maybe see that this year. but again, that one's maybe still a bit of a push. However, ones like this, 141 to around the 142.50 kind of gap fill, that we could quite easily see that this year. So these are key targets to kind of be looking at, especially these high ones, because these are most likely targets that we would see if we get a pullback. And then we have also kind of created one here, 152 to 154. So again, these can be targets, especially these higher up ones. So this 141, 142, you could be looking for a short kind of down to that level, or get a bounce plate off that level. And the same thing at this 152, kind of 153 level. Most likely, well, that one I do imagine we would retrace kind of no matter what in the year, because even just a pullback will probably get us to there. However, one thing we are starting to see, obviously back here we were strong bullish momentum, but now we kind of cooled down and we're starting to kind of consolidate in this level. So that's one thing to be keeping an eye out on, that the momentum has slowed. So maybe the launch of this retail bank may help, but we probably won't see, obviously it's only just launched, so this won't show until their fourth quarter is released. So that would be, well, March of next year, until we kind of see the results of how this has worked. So that's the only thing, is that we would be waiting quite a long time to see how many kind of users have signed up for Chase and all of that within the UK. So now we'll go on to standard deviations and see where does this tell us that it's going to be going or heading. So firstly, we're looking at, we'll go over the 4 hour first, and we can see it's kind of a bit over the statistical mean, which means it's a bit more on the bullish side, but also means it's more likely to start pulling back when it goes a bit oversold. And that's what you saw here at this 169 area. It came into the first deviation on the 4 hour, and as you always do, or tend to do, you get a pullback. And in this case, we pull back to the statistical mean, and it looks like we're going to retest. And usually when you get that retest, you tend to break through. So it wouldn't be unlikely for JPM to break through to an all-time high and start pushing up. Then where do we see some resistance, and what areas would we be looking to break? This 172.50 will be a key level because it's a statistical mean on the daily, and when you see stocks coming to this statistical mean, you tend to either get a large pullback or a large momentum push through it. So that'd be a key level, because either from here we may step back down $10 or so, or we could see a nice breakthrough and be looking for the kind of our next deviation, which would be 178. So for right now, those are kind of our key levels to the upside. 178 would be that kind of push of a level that we would be looking for. However, if it does break through, where would be our kind of further out targets if you're looking to maybe do a longer term trade on this? That'd be 186, 192, and I guess 194 would be the key ones we will give. Obviously we do have high levels on the daily. We can see it goes to 212, 230, 250, but those are quite extreme, especially for financial services such as a big titan such as JPM, because it is very hard for it to kind of push those kind of percentages. It's not like a small cap stock where it can move a lot easier. For it to move that lot, it won't happen anytime soon, and even if it did, we would have an update video, because there must be major news if it was pushing that high. So now where do we see maybe good buy opportunities if it continues down? So this gap fill over here is a great buy zone. You'll see, and you'll tend to see this quite a lot, is gap zones tend to fill match up with standard deviations. This is because standard deviations are usually, or are, key buying zones. So over time they tend to just match up. Don't really know why, but you'll notice that they do. If you go back to any of the videos, you'll see that they match up. I'm going to quickly plug my laptop in because low battery just popped up, so hopefully the fan doesn't get loud. But if it continues down further, 146 a key level, 132 and 138. Obviously the ones kind of below 140 are quite a push to go down that low, but we'll provide them anyway just so you have levels. But kind of the key zones we'll be looking for now is kind of 153, 155 area, and 146 will be good kind of key zones. This 172 wouldn't trade off this zone. If I'm long, I'd probably lock in profits, or at least some profits there, and then I'd be waiting for that push to 178. It would be kind of our key target. That 172, you'll probably get a big pressure either to the upside or the downside, as that tends to be when you get a statistical means. So hope you enjoyed the breakdown on JPM. Hope to see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.